There we go. I've clicked the golden button, and it says we are live. However, that may not be believed. As receiving content, you are indeed live. Excellent. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the 4GwQPodcast podcast. Sorry, we're a little on the delayed side. Assassin was having some audio issues, and I think we've gotten them straightened away, so I think we're all good. So yeah, like I said, in episode 170, it's May 31st, 2018. A beautiful day here in Boston, up where Assassin lives. By the way, Assassin's making it to his 170th straight appearance on this program. Assassin, I hear it's very hot up where you are at right now.
Oh my god. It's cool today, actually. It was, I had to mow the lawn. It was like 60 degrees, like 9:30. The other day, it was like up to 90 and like 9:30 in the morning. Like, it was just so hot in here, man, for like a week straight.
Wow. That sucks. I hope that doesn't make it down here because I've got a lot of shit I got to move in the next couple of weeks. But glad you're able to make it here for the podcast. I know you were feeling a little dead after doing some yard work earlier today, but right, it was yard work, right, that you were doing?
I had to mow the lawn for my neighbor.
That sucks. I hate
Well,
that.
they pay me, so that's,
Oh, well, okay, well, that works out then, right?
Yep.
Oh, and my dog wants to say hi. Hello. Okay, get down. Also here tonight is Clowns. What's going on, bud?
Hey, what's going on, people? It's the Clowns.
Nice. little ode to Xbox there.
Xbox.
So yeah, our fourth spot is empty again tonight, but that's gonna change pretty soon. We're gonna have people on the regular. Oh, and this dog is being so needy tonight, isn't she? Hello, yeah, okay. Time to get down. Anyway, before we get into the topics, just want to give a shout out to the Inner Circle Network. We are now a Tick affiliate, so thanks to those guys for letting us kind of join a conglomeration of awesome podcasts that support each other with kind of a common goal, a common theme, kind of a no bullshit kind of deal where, just talking games and none of the, crazy drama-filled nonsense that is gaming community and E3 leaks and all that crazy stuff. So we keep it real here, and I got to thank the guys over at Tick, Kal-El, for being so dedicated to to making this happen. And I know the Tick Network site has just been kind of revamped, and they've been working really hard on that. Another guy over there, Samuel Tolbert, awesome guy, young kid, but definitely wise beyond his years. Has been has been working hard on making that site a lot better and doing some great editing. And Clowns, you've been writing stuff over there, so anything new that you've written in the past week? Or I know you've been dealing with some illness still.
Yeah, nothing new yet. I mean, I'm still working on some stuff. I do have like a large stack of comics I'm going to go through, and as soon as I can use my right hand more, I'll definitely write.
Nice. So that's the situation with the Tick Network. We'll we'll have some links in the description. We'll be doing some more stuff collaboratively with them and with the other affiliate podcasts soon. So look out for that. Topics tonight. We're going to talk about that Crackdown nonsense that ended up not being a thing. Also, we'll talk about the Sea of Thieves DLC that finally came out, brand new. First DLC, I think. First real DLC package that has come out for the game. We'll talk about the Dark Souls Remastered. Now, does it hold up, rather, to the newer releases? We'll get into that. And I guess Fallout's getting a new game. Fallout 76, we'll get into that. I don't know if they really need a new game as of yet. It's been sneaky 3 years since the last one came out, but nonetheless, I think there's plenty of people still checking out Fallout 4. So,
well, my dog just made his appearance.
Oh, there's his dog. So we just need Assassin's dog now to complete the trifecta. So, and then we'll talk about the new Pokemon games that just got kind of leaked, announced. Not really leaked because I think Nintendo kind of beat people to the punch on leaking that, and they kind of released a little teaser for that game. So a lot more to come at E3, of course, in just a couple short weeks here. Less than 2 weeks, actually. So, yeah. And then maybe some Games with Gold stuff. We'll see how we're doing on timing. But the Games with Gold this month are a little suspicious, I'd say. A little weird. Especially that Smite one. I mean, no hate on Smite, but that's kind of a little weird addition to Games with Gold. Something we haven't really seen before. So, anyway, let's get right into it. Crackdown 3, everyone was kind of bitching and moaning about this thing being canceled. They were seeing those Amazon orders getting canceled. I think it was mainly Amazon Spain that had the cancellations of the pre-orders, and everyone saw that and started posting on Twitter, and people were saying, oh, the end is near. You know, this is the precursor before Microsoft announced that they're finally canceling the game after a few delays here.
It should be canceled, Inferno. That game should go right in the garbage. You know why it should be canceled? Because Fable Legends should have came out instead of Crackdown 3, and Fable Legends got delayed, so they canceled it. It was eating up money. Crackdown 3 is doing the same exact thing. Bunch of crap. And that game's not even worth it. I mean, how well did the first two do?
No, I mean...
That's enough to have a sequel.
Well, yeah, so that's the thing. Like, what is that benchmark that justifies another Crackdown game coming out? Because Crackdown 1, I think, did pretty well. I mean, I know a lot of people who played Crackdown 1. I know a lot of people who loved it. Crackdown 2 comes out. I think it did okay. Now, I got to check the meta on that one, and I don't know about the sales, but I think critically, I think that one did okay. But people were kind of... I don't know. You know, the fans were clamoring for it, but I don't think people were, you know, dying for a new one like they were for, like, Gears or Halo or anything like that. Okay, so Crackdown 1 got an 83 on Meta, which is respectable, definitely respectable in the green region. Crackdown 2 was at a 70. So when you see a game at a 70, you think to yourself, maybe, you know, that's kind of a little iffy to do a sequel. I don't know how well it sold, but... You know, they've got a lot of backing with this one. I mean, they've got Terry Crews, you know, backing this thing. They've had now a few E3s where they've presented this game extremely, how do I say this? It's kind of like at the forefront of what they've wanted to talk about at a couple of E3s now. And it was playable at the last E3. And I didn't think it was half bad. I mean, I didn't think it was great. I'm not, you know, going to buy it day one, but it wasn't half bad. And it was something I definitely saw myself getting eventually and playing through because, you know, I kind of enjoyed what I played, that little score attack mode. But, Clowns, I kind of know the answer what you're going to say because because you just shat talking. But were you guys looking forward to getting this, or were you guys thinking about getting this, or do you not care about this at this point? What do you guys think?
I really don't care about the game really anymore. I mean, it's like, I'm not a Crackdown fan, but if I was, like, we've seen this so many times and it just gets delayed. Like, either the game's broken or they're listening to the Xbox needs better games and they need to create a better game. But at the other hand, it's getting delayed over and over at this point. Like, you know, we talked to some people today with Sea of Thieves. Like, that game was 4 years to make, but look how, like, lackluster it is. Now, if Crackdown 3 comes out and it takes, I forget how many years it's been being made, it comes out and has nothing. Like, that's just a waste of time and money for, like, everyone.
Yeah, it's kind of like a situation where, you know, I feel like with a few of these games, Microsoft this gen has tried to implement, like, way too many things too quickly. Like, you want next gen features, sure, you know, you're trying to, you know, distinguish the 360 era from the Xbox One era in terms of, like, what games can do. So Crackdown 3, for example, let's go to Sea of Thieves because that came out first. Sea of Thieves, you know, they had server-side assets, so everyone saw the same exact waves, everyone sees the same exact birds, everyone sees the same exact everything that's on that server on a huge open world, and, you know, the collaborative ability in that game is certainly something to behold. Obviously people, bitching and moaning about the content, and some of that is founded for sure. But I feel like with these games, it's like less focused on content and stuff people want, and more on just like evolving gaming. Because like look at Crackdown 3 too. Like they're banking on the full destruction system, the cloud computing destruction and all that. You know what I mean? Like they're focusing on that.
God, what a joke.
Right? I mean, that's like the focus of instead of making a game, like look at what Sony's done. Like I don't want to stop the console war, but just look. Sony, like Last of Us 2, all the couple of Uncharted games that have come out. Last of Us 2 can't really say because we haven't seen it, but from all indications, it's just like the same formula, just like better graphics. I mean, it's not like they're talking about these wildly different engines that, do this, that, and the other thing, and what kind of power can do for like cloud computing and all this back end stuff that no one cares about. It was cool as a little, bullet point on a presentation, but at the end of the day, people just want good games, and Sunset Overdrive, I think this gen has been the closest thing to that, just a good game that just evolved that genre a little bit, nothing too crazy in terms of, really new features. It was just like a really good implementation of that kind of game. And even that didn't do well. So,
I think this whole cloud thing for Crackdown 3 is just a joke. I mean, they can't even give the cloud a State of Decay 2, and that game is getting more fandom lately than Sea of Thieves, and that game really deserves some type of solid cloud-based multiplayer, and yet they're going to give it to Crackdown 3, a game that keeps getting delayed, and it was supposed to be like the forefront of Microsoft's Azure cloud service. I mean, what a joke. I hate to say this, and I love Xbox, but this game is making Xbox look bad right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. I agree with that 100%. I think there's no... Like with Sea of Thieves, right? That game... I enjoy playing that game. I really like that game. I think we'll talk about that in a little bit with the Hungering Deep DLC. But for all of the no content attacks that they've gotten for that game, I really do enjoy that, and I think that's a new kind of experience that's really really valuable in gaming. But Crackdown, like, there's nothing I think about Crackdown that people say to themselves, and I'm sure in the comments we'll get somebody to correct me on this, but there's nothing, and you guys chime in on this for sure. There's nothing about Crackdown that says to me, like, this is a killer feature that I must experience. You know what I mean? It's just like, it just is what it is, man. And like, sometimes a game will get delayed, and then it'll finally come out and you'll be like, oh, this is really, the delays were worth it. Like, The Witcher 3, Red Dead, I'm sure, will be like that. They're games that just get, back even in the old days, like Star Fox 64, for instance, like that game got delayed. I was nearly in tears when I was a kid when that fucking thing got delayed. Like, I remember being so hyped with the Nintendo Powers and the Nintendo Power VHSs that they'd send to the house, and you'd like throw those things in and watch like a 30-minute discussion about the game, and I watched that over and over and over, and then that thing got delayed. I was so pissed, but when it finally came out, I was like, yes, like this was worth the wait. But Crackdown, like, there's just nothing that makes me think that that's going to be true,
I hear a lot of people talking about Crackdown 3, and they're all hyped for the server, and you do destruction, and the cloud saves the destruction that you do or whatever. That's the kind of hype that I'm hearing about the game. You want that, just, go to a Minecraft server at this point.
Or play Battlefield.
Or play Battlefield, yeah. Look at Battlefield 5. Like, Battlefield 5 is going to beat Crackdown to the punch, and Battlefield 5's destruction is going to take, the destruction and Frostbite engine to a whole new level. Like, all the new features, like, yeah, I was kind of shitting on it last week, but at the end of the day, the destruction improvements that are going to be in that game just make it so realistic, and I just don't know how they're going to make it more realistic than that. And yet, Crackdown 3, we're still talking about, like, cloud computing for destruction and all this bullshit. Like, it's like... I'm getting notifications, sorry. And all this, all this talk about nonsense, it's just like, I just don't think it's going to live up to the hype. And I think there's just like such a high ceiling now that people are going to be like, oh, okay. Like we expected so much more and now it sucks,
Yo.
Much hype. Not delivered yet. They kept promising all the press at E3. Oh no, it's coming. It's coming. Don't worry, it's coming. By the time it comes, you'll see like articles of Kotaku and Polygon just slamming it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the expectation is going to be too high, like you said.
Well, not all the articles. We'll see that one. I forget where it is. They always do this for every Xbox game. Like where it's going to be like the greatest Xbox game ever, and then a day later it's like the worst game ever.
Clickbait titles, assassin.
Yeah, well, there's always that one article that always says those exact like words. Like they always come out with one. I forget which company does it, but it goes around.
Yeah. Yep. It's just negative thing after negative thing. Like, there's nothing that's come out that's been like, for instance, there's not an article that's been like, sources have seen Crackdown and it's the next big thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, remember with Sea of Thieves? Like, there were some articles before the game came out being like, Sea of Thieves could be the most fun multiplayer game ever. Like, there are people talking about it like that, right? And obviously it's not, but, you know, whatever. Some people think it is. But, and you know, whatever. You're entitled to your opinion. How you play the game, you know, may actually, you know, even though it doesn't have a lot of, you know, new content or not a lot of original content when it released, even, you know, the way you play it makes the game. But, like, at least people were hyping that up. Like, I just see nothing positive about Crackdown. And like, this is just like another like Three Stooges moment. Like, I'm sure Microsoft is. I mean, Aaron Greenberg. We have the tweet right here on the podcast, and it says the team confirmed it was due to a technical issue on Amazon's side, and it's being addressed. Like, I'm sure Microsoft is pissed. You know.
Yeah.
But Daz says in the chat, "What happened to that?" I don't know what he's talking about, but
I don't know.
All right, so that's essentially it on Crackdown 3. I mean, I don't want to like beat a dead horse, but honestly, if it were canceled, like, I know a lot of people would be upset. You know, I know Doc Cupcake, great guy. Used to do the TXR podcast with him, met him a few times. He's, you know, very, very good guy. He's you know, he's in the game, so.
But yeah, I mean, that's the only cool thing about the game is that somebody good like Doc is actually in the game. So if it did get canceled, I hope they put Doc in a different game.
Right. Me too. Because, you know, he's really hyped about that. I mean, who wouldn't be hyped about that? You know, being a playable character. I mean, look at players in like sports leagues that become playable like in Madden and stuff, and they go crazy because they're finally in Madden. You know. It's like the same thing. Dad says technical issues last forever. I don't know what he's talking about, but technical issues in Amazon. Yeah, well, I mean, I see why people are kind of like worried about it when all of them got canceled. You know, that is a reason to worry, but at the same time, it's kind of like, are you really that pissed off? It's kind of like the Scalebound thing. Right? I know a lot of people will argue with me on this, but like when Scalebound was canceled, I'm just like, okay, like, great. You know, that game got delayed a couple times. Like, you know, on to the next. And even though Crackdown is, I guess, an established, quote unquote, franchise for Xbox, like, I couldn't care less if it got, other than for like people like Doc and people that are diehard fans, I could not care less if that game got canceled. Actually, I think
Crackdown 3? What developer?
I don't know off the top of my head.
They're like Sumo Digital or something.
Sumo definitely has a partner, but I'm not sure if they're the head developer. Oh yeah, they are. Okay, yeah, Sumo Digital Asian Games.
Aren't they releasing a game sometime recently?
I mean, aren't they doing that like Sonic Racing thing that just got rumored or whatever it is?
Yeah. Like, I kind of just wonder, like, I know with Scalebound, like, you know, they had another team do it. Like, do these developers just not have enough like people working on the game at this point? Like, because it seems like they're pulling out like all these games. They're coming to like all these platforms, but then the games, like Microsoft needs to get out, just never come out.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to build up the rapport, and and I think that's part of when Phil Spencer went abroad to all these countries, including Japan, to try to make relationships. I really hope that he's finding good talent, because that's kind of like what Microsoft needs at this point. I mean, Sumo's made some good games. I mean, Sumo made like my favorite Sumo game is an indie game, and it's Snake Pass. That game came out last year. I love that game. That was Sumo Digital, but that's an indie. I mean, that's nothing on the scale of Crackdown. But I mean, so I can't knock Sumo as a dev, but they're just not. I just don't think, and I could be wrong, I just don't think that a company like Sumo Digital is ready for the moment of something like Crackdown, and with the ambition of the cloud compute and all that, and all the other crazy stuff that they've talked about in that game for new tech features,
Yeah, and I'm like looking at this, and it could be total bullshit, but it says number of employees in 2018 is 500. Like, clearly, at least if they're just making two games, the Sonic game and this game, like 250, maybe like they need more people. Like, I just don't know.
Maybe. I mean, to make a game, to make a AAA title, I feel like that would be enough. Like, I'm pretty sure Guerrilla had like less than 100 when Horizon came out.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe,
when Horizon started development, at least. So
looks like there's a couple developers involved. Sumo Digital may be the main one, but Reagent Games, Ruffian Games, and CloudGen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew Reagent too.
People from Microsoft helping them make it, but
yeah, I mean, Microsoft definitely is involved in the back end stuff, and it's especially integrating the cloud compute. It's just like, man, if Crackdown 3 comes out and the cloud compute stuff is not working properly, it's gonna just absolutely tank. Like, it could be the worst launch on the system. I think, at least.
Thieves had a pretty bad launch, I thought.
I mean, if you first couple weeks maybe, but not like first couple days. I think they did well first couple days, and then they realized, sales gonna slow down a little bit. But no, I know what you mean, and that's a perfect segue into our next topic, which is the first Sea of Thieves DLC. Now we're like 2 months away, 2 months out from when the game came out.
DLC.
Wait, hold on a second. So Sea of Thieves came out when? March what?
I forgot.
March 20th. March 20th. Yeah. So March 20th, it's 2 months later, 2 months and a couple weeks later, and we've got our first DLC. And now we know that they were working on the DLC right away. Some of the DLC they were working on right away. Some of them they were working on before the game came out. But this DLC, does it seem like a lot of work went into this? Like, what do you guys think about this? I know, it's not just, it's not just new stuff to do. There's also like customizable flags and scars and tattoos and all this stuff, and a new instrument, right? The drum.
Yeah, there's the drum and then the speaking trumpet. So like,
oh, okay.
The proximity, chat only can go so far, so you can't speak to someone on the bottom left and on the top right, like. So, you put this up to your mouth and it'll, make your voice louder so people can hear you.
Right. But I haven't played it. I've seen a few videos of it. I'm definitely looking to get into it this weekend because I feel that I haven't played Sea of Thieves in forever, and we used to play that religiously. But you guys have definitely checked it out. You guys have gotten through kind of like the new stuff that you can do. So why don't you guys tell us your impressions of it?
So obviously at least I went into it knowing that there wasn't going to be much content because only a very short amount of time going into it. But I still think it's they should have done more. Like I already had that expectation really low, and I felt like it was even lower after I played it. I think it's like a great start, but like most of it is just going to point A, point B, reading, some text and going to point, B to C, so on and so forth. And then if you bring the people, you know where you're going. So there's a point where you could skip from A to B. You could go right to B to C, and then, skip a few steps because you don't need to talk to certain people. So you can get it done in, like, depending if you have the win, like 20 minutes. That's not including the boss fight at the end. I think the boss fight was pretty good. I hate that you need 5 people to start the boss fight.
Now, what the fuck is that? You need 5 people to start it, so you need another crew to help you?
Yeah, the boss is harder than the Kraken, because when he opens his mouth, he pushes the boat, so like it could do like a 90-degree angle all of a sudden, and you could be and do a shit ton of damage, and like that aspect's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but like that 5-person, like right now, like if you go in, you go to the last step or probably the person, no one's there anymore. So it's so hard to find someone now because anyone who wanted to play the DLC probably already done it.
Right.
So like I said, trying to get those people, like at least it should have been 4, but it should have been 2. Let people who maybe don't have friends, do it. At least try it.
Yeah. I understand that. I understand that they try to like make you play with other people, fine, whatever. But people are dicks in this game. Like people could sabotage you. Yeah. It's like I almost wish that there was a system in the game after playing it more. I know we talked about this a lot when the game came out, but after playing it more and after seeing kind of like the direction these DLC bosses are kind of going to go in, because I feel like this is how they're going to keep going with the DLC, is that they're going to require you to have more than just a standard galleon, for a crew of 4 or whatever. I feel like that's kind of going to be the direction. And we got a hint of that because of the, because of the forts and everything. Well, I mean, not so much anymore because people have figured out how to like cheese the forts and figured out how to really defeat them without needing extra crews. But when advertised, they were saying, oh, everyone's going to have to come together at the forts. It's going to be, an epic battle that you won't be able to do it yourselves. You're going to need more than just a galleon. I feel like, they're trying to do that again with this DLC. But my main point is, why can't they have a system where like maybe these people can get together on the main island or whatever on one of the outposts and like sign something? You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they start to show up in green instead of showing up in white or whatever. Their characters show up as green, and then like you're not the same crew, but you've kind of made a pact in the game so that you can't kill each other, and then you can go at it together. You know what I mean? Why didn't they do that?
I don't know. Maybe it's more difficult on their end or something, but I don't know. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Like you said, people are just total dicks. Like, for instance, Clowns and I went by a fort. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was today. I forget. They were doing the fort. We didn't want to do the fort. They were there. We didn't want to, attack them. We were just going to do a merchant quest. And one of the guys was a pirate legend. I think he was helping a buddy get there. And they come after us. Like, we were just sailing by. We weren't even going to the fort. We were close to the fort enough for them to shoot us, but it's not like we were turning into it. We were just driving by, and then they came by, and we ended up scuttling the ship because they were just sitting there. They weren't, going to shoot our boat anymore. It was sinking, but not fast. Like,
right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let us be.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd really call this DLC Inferno. I think it's, as Assassin said it best before, it's more like a time-limited event.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just very disappointing because the whole process, as long as you know what you're doing and you played Sea of Thieves for a while, caves already, and you don't even have to follow and go to the outpost. You can just read the journals, look up the hidden caves, figure out where it is, and then just go meet the Megalodon after you find a 5th person. Finding the 5th person is, I think, the most challenging part of this DLC time-limited event. And it's so short that if you know what you're doing, probably in like 20 minutes or less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, I think it's cool. Like, I was reading the notes, and I watched a couple videos, and I actually saw a couple people streaming late last night when I got home, and I thought it was kind of cool that they added a new pirate. They added some new NPCs and stuff. Like, I think that's cool, but. And it's definitely noticeable, especially if you go in like the taverns and stuff, you can kind of notice it. But I feel like I wish they just did more, I wish these NPCs would just do more. I feel like they're so lifeless, and they can, through patches, they can, everyone talks about games now being, in betas, or like beta testing games. Like, look at PUBG, look at Fortnite, look at, all these games, look at, what else? Like Ark, Survival Evolved. Like, look at these games that are just perpetually in beta, right? And they just improve things. Oh, somebody's honking outside my door. Hold on. Oh my god, there's a fire.
Breaking the law, Inferno.
Yeah, right? The 5-0, run! No, but I feel like games are perpetually advertised, and people accept kind of that, there are betas and that games can evolve over time. Like, look at Rainbow Six Siege as well. Look at Division. Like, these games that just evolve and evolve and evolve. Why can't Sea of Thieves kind of accept that as well and make, I know it's only 2 months out, but, like, I fully expect this year the NPCs to have some more value, And if they don't, I think it's a huge missed opportunity.
Setting your hopes up too high. I to be honest, Inferno, I agree with you. I think they should, but I don't think they will.
Yeah.
I think they have other dev teams working on DLC now.
Yeah, I think they signed
and
for DLC. So that's promising.
Yeah.
All I think what's going to happen, I think in the future, Sea of Thieves, I think they're going to keep reactivating these time limited events once everything's all out there. And people just participate at different times.
Yeah, I think time limited events would be fine. I just think there's, I'm not necessarily totally for that, but I feel like if they are pushing small updates like this, and they would push small updates like this like every month, that would be a different story. But like every 2 months, 2 to 3 months, I hate to say I don't think it's enough, because I think people in a game like this are just hungry for new stuff, and I feel like there is room for improvement that hopefully they're working on now. I mean, it's not like the game is just like perfect out of the gate and they just need to add new things. It's like there are ways that they can push out patches monthly that improve glaring problems with the game,
Yeah.
But
well, hopefully the next DLC in like two months. I mean, they probably had 4 months to work on it. Hopefully get more stuff, and hopefully they've learned from this one.
Yeah.
As much as I hate saying that, but they need to push out bigger DLC.
Yeah, and oh, go ahead, Clowns, go ahead.
We're seeing less and less people on the servers during busy times than we used to. So I think a lot of players are kind of like getting bored.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, there's one guy that we used to play with like almost all the time for last week, and now he's like, oh, 50 and gold hoarders. I don't know if I feel like playing it anymore.
Yep.
And we've been doing merch, and those quests compared to everything else is so much longer. And right. I feel like the rewards are so much less than the others.
Right. And you know what? It's not even like people will forget if you fuck up. You know what I mean? If they're working on like completely revamping the reward system, right? And then they push that and it makes sense, people will forget about the old days. You know what I mean? It's not like people will be like, "Oh, well, you started out like this, so fuck you." You know what I mean? Like
some people will be like that.
Some people will. Some blowhards will. It's true. You hear some people every now and then being like, "Oh yeah, well, Xbox One X may be cool, but how about that Xbox One 2013 press conference? That really sucked, huh?" Like, people will still pull that card, and it's like, dude, get over yourself. Same thing with Sea of Thieves. Like, I think if Sea of Thieves comes out with a new progression system, and or a new reward system, and people still bitch about that. It's kind of like, enjoy it for what it is now, you know? I think they still have the opportunity to do that.
Problem is, they still haven't even fixed all the glitches in Sea of Thieves that make the game kind of like annoying at times. For example, let me give you a good example. We're doing a merchant quest, picking up pigs, and we had Assassin's friend Jaren in there with us. And he went to go feed the pigs because you hit Y to feed the pigs. Well, there's that glitch where if you only see the Y button, the pig never gets fed. You have to see the Y button for feed and the X button to pick up the pig. Then you hit the Y button, and then the pig's fed. Well, Jaren didn't know that, and our pig died.
Oh, great. And so that completely fucked up your mission, obviously.
Yeah.
We have to go find another pig.
Unreal. So, all right, before we move off this topic, if you guys would give the first DLC a rating, either a letter grade or a number grade out of 10 or something like that, what are you guys looking at right now for the first DLC effort on Sea of Thieves?
If I had to give it a letter, it'd be like a D+.
Really, that bad?
Well, yeah, like the Megalodon was a good fight, and some of the things they added, like the $7,000 sales that are just, plain black, whatever. Like that stuff's good, but everything else, no.
All right, Clowns, what are you thinking?
I would say I'm with Assassin. I'd actually give it a D-, and the reason why I'd give it a D- is because if you skip Merrick's speech at the end, you can't go back and see it again.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that.
No way. They're gonna have to patch that.
Yeah, oh my god. So the funny story. So Clowns and I, we were about to finish the DLC, what we thought was gonna be the end before the Megalodon fight. And this group shows up. I think there was a galleon and a sloop. And they're telling us like, are you here for the Hungry Deep? So we go in game chat, and then we see we had the drum, and they're like, how do you get that? And so we're talking to these guys. Merrick's talking to us. Sons and I are not even reading because we're too busy explaining other stuff. So we're just hitting A, and then we realize, what do we do?
No.
Like, and then you go back to him thinking, oh, he'll just tell us again. And he's like, no, tell us stories. Tell us if he can play us a shanty or something. Nope.
Right.
It doesn't. And we just sat there like, is this the end of the DLC or is there more? And we had to watch like She-Wolf stream and some other people's streams to figure out what we had to do.
Shout out to She-Wolf. She did give me some advice and DMs on how to do it while Assassin was looking at a YouTube video. So between him and her, we were able to figure it out. Prior to that, Assassin helped somebody else out that we know in hopes that they would send him screenshots of what Merrick would say. And just to give you the Sea of Thieves mentality, Assassin never got any advice, words, or screenshots from said person after Assassin walked him through everything.
Yeah, and there was two people on our sloop at the time. They were friendly. He decided to shoot them because they're on our boat. And then we go to war with them. So I quit on the person. Like it was just,
oh wow.
Like I helped you through this, and then you just go to war with someone, like, and then he abandoned the boats. Like I was trying to fix it, drive it, and shoot. Like you can't do all those at once. And we died and we lost the boat.
Unreal.
And then there's a shanty that Merrick plays. But you can't have it as part of your song playlist, with the instruments. And it is probably, I think, the best shanty in the entire game. It is really good. But you can't play it because he can only play it. So you have to grab it from him. And once you let go of the trigger, you stop playing it.
Oh.
It's such a letdown.
What a tease.
Yeah, I know. If you go on their Twitter and just, they had one about the shanty. Everyone's like, put it in the game. It's good. Put it in the game. But
yeah, they got to add more of those.
Yeah, they really
do. Jeff Bartram, a.k.a. Doc Cupcake, in the chat says, for free, he's not going to complain about this DLC, just hoping more depth comes soon, still bare bones experience. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people are there, man. A lot of people are there. And it sucks because the game has so much potential,
Yep.
asked your all our friend now, Downer, your old TXR buddy too.
Yep.
And, his response was,
Nope, couldn't hear that. What did you say?
Master.
Oh. Yep, that's Downer for you.
Nope.
Yeah, but my hopes are high in this game. I really hope that it kind of makes a resurgence, and they can do it if they want. They just gotta listen to the people, and this DLC, I guess, is a start. I mean, that boss fight is definitely the coolest part, but and they've added some customization stuff, but I think they're gonna need more. Definitely.
So, hint to anybody at Rare that may listen to this later, aka maybe Deadly Daily Dong. But some things that could be incorporated into Sea of Thieves are like double XP weekends, double XP in certain merchant alliances or alliances in general, random rewards for logging in for so many days in a row consecutively. Just something every now and then to say, hey, we appreciate you guys coming back. Here's, a belt, or here's an eye patch that you can only get from logging in for so many days in a row this week.
Right. Yep, a lot of games have been doing that. Good.
And add a stronghold something for the merchants. Like you finish the fort, and you see these little crates, and they give you like 2 XP, and then you get the stronghold chest or skull, and it gives you like 1 billion XP. Like, it was something for the merchants. Please.
I think that's coming. I think so many people are saying this that they'd be stupid to ignore them,
Yeah, literally the merchant quests are driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Those are the worst type of quests, but I want to get them done so I can enjoy the gold and the skeleton stuff. Like, it's
All right, that's enough Sea of Thieves for tonight, I feel. I am dying to get back on it, though. I really am. Fucking love it. I hate to say it, but I play it more often on my PC for the smooth frame rate, but that game, either on PC or on Xbox, that game is just gorgeous, man.
We'll get you to the Skull Fort. It's 15 minutes or less usually.
All right, nice. Sounds good.
No.
Sounds good. I got to rank up for sure. All right, on to another topic that I must admit I know very little about, but there's been a little bit of controversy, I feel, on this Dark Souls Remastered. Now, I know there have been a few videos, Digital Foundry included, some other lesser-known techie channels that have kind of gone into a little comparison between, the old version of the game and this one, specifically on PC as well. And people are saying that the graphics really aren't that much better. That, obviously on console, this is going to be a big improvement, right? I mean, it's from last gen to this gen. The remastered has the game kind of sort of up to current gen standards for a Dark Souls looking game. I mean, obviously it doesn't look as good as Dark Souls 3. I mean, Dark Souls 3 is, I think, a great looking game. But me personally, I don't play Dark Souls games as much as the next person. I definitely don't play as much as Assassin. But this is definitely a topic that I wanted to get into because it has been divisive on whether or not this is a good thing and whether or not this holds up compared to a game like Dark Souls 3 or Bloodborne more recently. In the genre that is, taking it to kind of like a new level. So, Assassin, I know you've played the ever-living shit out of this. Or maybe not the ever-living shit, but definitely you've played this quite a bit. And I know you love the Dark Souls game. So, what are you thinking about it?
Well, first off, I just want to say, if you're expecting, like, from, the 2011 Dark Souls to look like, Dark Souls 3, like, I mean, you're going to be disappointed. I mean, it literally does look like a 2011 game was just ported to the Xbox One, but, it looks nicer.
Yep.
But it still has that 2011 feel. I know PC players would be totally disappointed because there was a mod, I think, a few days after the first game came out on PC to put it at 60 frames. Like,
Yep.
Like, if you buy the remastered, like, it'll probably look a little bit better, but I mean, you're gonna get the same experience and probably, whatever. But as a person who's never played Dark Souls that much, I have it on backwards compatible. So I played the first area a little bit. But since the remastered was announced, I didn't go back to it because I knew I was going to play the remastered version and the backwards compatible version. So, I mean, it does look nice. The 60 FPS is lovely compared to the 30 FPS that it came out on.
Without a doubt.
I saw the Digital Foundry video of, I forget what the town was, but the frame rate absolutely chugged on last gen consoles. Like, it was absolute terrible. Even like on the backwards compatible version on the X, it still chugged.
Yeah, that's what Luca's saying right now. Just said that in the YouTube chat. Couldn't play in the backwards compatible. The frame rate was so awful, and that's coming from a huge Dark Souls fan in Luca.
Yeah.
So go ahead, go ahead, Assassin. Sorry, go ahead.
So having that be like a mostly stable frame rate is a welcome change to the game. There's certain things I hate about it. Some people tell me it's part of the story, but I can't stand there's no fast travel. It is so annoying.
See, now this is what I kind of wanted to get into too on this topic is like, does the gameplay, like, you go back to Gears 1 versus like Gears 4 gameplay, and I think it kind of holds up. Like the Gears, the Ultimate Edition there, like I think that held up. Like I love playing through that again. I missed a few things here and there, like reloading while running or this, that, or the other. I missed it, or, the animations and the ease of mounting up against the wall and stuff. But, like, in Dark Souls 1, right, versus 3, there's just, like, some fundamental stuff that's missing.
Well, like I said, like, the thing like fast travel, I heard it was, like, tied to the story. Like, that's why you couldn't do it. But again, I wish it was there, because there's times where, like, compared to the other ones, you can buy items when you go to a bonfire. Like, you can level up things. Lucas says you can fast travel late in the game. Thank you. I did not know that. I've, like I said, never played Dark Souls 1. As much as I know. But you can like level up your armors and stuff like that. Like that is nice. But then you get some of the minor details of like an item drop. It used to be different. Like if you kill an enemy, the item drop like totally different what it is now. It's more Dark Souls 3 looking. Like that stuff's nice, but I wish they added some more thing, to make it more up to our Dark Souls 3 standards.
Yeah. And there's games that I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I know that there's games in the past that have done that, and real diehards of the franchise may be like, no, you can't alter the game, blah blah blah. But I feel like for the crowd that's enjoyed Dark Souls recently, I feel like they could have added a few things in to make it more approachable, because I think there's things that and correct me if I'm wrong, Luca in the chat especially, but I think there's things that people just get used to in later versions of games that, especially in a game like this, that they just like miss so much in the first one, Yeah. But some people are saying the PC people are all over the place on this game. Like some people are saying it is a huge improvement. Some people are saying it's not. Some people are saying, the smallest things that have been added are just like a God-given gift. Like, for instance, every PC video that I've watched about this game, I've watched like 10 or so videos about like comparing the PC version to the old version. Everyone mentions the fact that you can actually pick a proper resolution. Like that's one of the biggest things. They're like, yes, you can finally, select the proper resolution. Like that is what they're talking about. Not, the graphics being touched up, better assets, tighter controls, stuff like that. Like they're talking about. And granted, I guess that's a big thing. Like, I'm not primarily a PC player, so I don't know if that's, the end all and be all. But it's just like, and Luca kind of said it earlier in the chat, and I agree with that, is that, remasters are really for console people. And so if you're used to the old game, as it was on 360, and then you come to this, you're going to be very impressed. But if you're coming from Dark Souls 3 and replaying Dark Souls 1 remastered, you're probably going to be let down.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I'm interested in playing a Souls game, and, you know, it makes sense to me to probably play Dark Souls Remastered first, because I did play just a little bit of Dark Souls 2, and I couldn't get into it. Same thing with Bloodborne, but I don't know.
Dark Souls Remastered compared to the other ones, I think was a lot harder of a game than like the other games, which is a nice welcome, because I thought Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne were, I mean, pretty easy. I mean, they weren't like the easiest games ever, but they weren't like difficult. And you come to like Dark Souls Remastered, and like you're like you said, like we were playing Dark Souls 3, and there's like a bonfire like very close to each other.
Right, right.
I'm used to that. And you come to here, it's like there's one bonfire, maybe two in an area, but the boss fight's like on the other side. And it's like you have to go through all those enemies, and some of them can be a pain in the butt if you run past them, which sometimes they do. And, you know, you only have 5 flasks unless you kindle the bonfire.
Right.
Which then you get 10. So, it's a little pain in the butt to do that.
Lucas says start with 3. That 3 is definitely the easiest. And I have heard that the 3 is definitely an easier game. And I think that's also a thing that's going to turn off people from this remaster. But I'm just like, Bloodborne I didn't find difficult. Like, I actually found Bloodborne easy, but I could not get into like the setting or the lore or whatever of Bloodborne. I could not get into that. Like, I'm so much more interested in Dark Souls than I would be in Bloodborne. There's something about that game that I know technically speaking it's good, but like from a technical standpoint, but something about the lore and the setting and it just turns me off compared to Dark Souls.
Compared to like Bloodborne and Dark Souls, I feel like Dark Souls has more thought put into it. Like Bloodborne has a good amount of thought put into it, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But like Dark Souls, it seems like it has like more items, like more locations. And then Bloodborne, like it has some good items, not as many as like Dark Souls. There's not as many locations. They put like a lot more of their good chunk of their time into like the dungeons, which are pretty fun. They get stale after a while, but you know, then you go to Dark Souls and there's just these areas, a lot of different bosses. It's just a lot more fun.
Yeah. And Lucas saying that the bosses in the first game aren't really that difficult, but it's just the areas and levels that are irritating. And like looking at people playing Dark Souls 3, watching streams of it, you know, talking to a lot of my friends about, you know, how great they think that game is. You know, people appreciate the fact that it's not irritating like the first game. Like people maybe the things that make it easier, I guess, are the things that make the first one irritating, from what I've heard. Like you said about the bonfires too. Like a lot of people would appreciate that. I think that's a good thing to have in the game. Whereas in Dark Souls 1, people may bitch about that, and you know, I know you appreciate it because you're always asking for harder games of this type. You know, like you definitely thought Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 were way too easy, so you appreciate it. But at the end of the day, like I think people playing these kind of games have kind of changed a bit, so I think they had to be a little careful. And I don't think they did, because they obviously didn't really touch a lot of mechanics, but or like the progression through the levels and stuff. But I feel like they may have been able to do that and made more people interested. I don't know how well this is selling, but
I don't know. We probably will never know.
Probably not.
We all know that diehard Dark Souls fans are going to buy it.
Yep.
Maybe the people who want to get into the series but didn't want to start with 2 or 3.
Right.
Probably get it. I think the price for it is actually pretty good. $40. It's not, $60 game. You're getting a good amount of content, a lot of hours. You got, cooperation type things.
Yep.
The annoying PvP. I can't stand the PvP.
Nice.
Well, it's just so annoying. It's like you get halfway through, you're like, yes, I'm doing good, and then Invader, and like, I guess I'll like. You get to those ones like, do you want to do it? And you're like, yeah, but you'll die, or unless you're good. But I'm not good with PvP. Or you get to a point where you're just irritated and you just dashboard.
Right.
And then you come back like your game could be corrupted. They always warn you about that. And then they give you that stupid message. It's like in all the Dark Souls games, like you didn't exit the game properly, and like you just want to say, "Shut up! I don't want to do PvP."
Yep. Clowns, I know you haven't touched it, but are you looking forward to playing it, or what's your feeling on it?
I like to make a joke between Assassin and I said this to Luca as a joke before. My favorite achievement's the uninstall button.
Nice.
I do want to play it. But I don't know if I'll be able to get into this one. I'm more of a fan of Dark Souls 2 than even 3 or 1, so for me.
Yeah.
I was playing that with Joe the other day, and we were trying to get through the DLC, and it's just like Dark Souls 1 is just so much better, and Dark Souls 3, it's like something went through their mind when they were making Dark Souls 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't get into Dark Souls 2. Really couldn't.
And it doesn't even look that great. Like, just playing like Dark Souls Remastered, while it is a more recent remaster, it just has more color to it. I feel like Dark Souls 2 just is missing that like color.
Yeah. I've heard that. Dark Souls 1, I think I looked at the remaster. I thought it looked good. From what I've seen, I thought it looked pretty good. I mean, obviously, like we said, it's not up to like Dark Souls 3 level, but I thought it was a very good improvement over the 360. Like, it's definitely, not like a Gears Ultimate Edition level remaster, but it's definitely a top end up-resing kind of like reskinning kind of deal. I think it's not like one of those remasters that you look at and you're like, oh, this still is, it's obviously not like next gen textures or whatnot, but it's not one of those remasters that you kind of look at and you're just like, oh man,
like the prototype one.
Yes. Yep.
Activision made. Oh my god, that was just a disaster to look at.
Yep.
Like, I thought that they would have done something to it.
Yep. Exactly. Sobsky says he won't even attempt this Dark Souls. He breaks too many controllers as it is. Yeah, I mean, this game will do that to you.
Yeah, there is a point.
Yep. Yeah, this game will do that to you. But yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit more. Like, I plan on getting into some Dark Souls, and apparently I should start with Dark Souls 3, and maybe we'll talk about that again on the podcast, because I'm sure I'm going to be like fucking awful at it right from the get-go. Although
and Cons gets say we could all do like co-op together. And
yes.
It's on dedicated servers instead of pure.
Yes.
Mega Man is like the Dark Souls of the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh my god, Mega Man can go suck a dragon. No, I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Wow.
Dark Souls.
Wow. All right, we got a couple more topics. Let's get into these. First off, I can't believe I waited until this long in the podcast to talk about this, but this was a pretty big deal. I mean, Fallout getting a new game already. It just got a quick teaser. I think it was like maybe a minute and a half teaser, and then Bethesda's obviously going to talk about it more in a couple weeks at their presser and during their E3 interviews and all that. But the reveal trailer, if you missed it, came out yesterday. We're gonna play it here now on the podcast a little bit. And you're definitely gonna get more info. Their presser is on the 10th, so just under 2 weeks. At 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now that we're in Daylight Time. Boogie says it's okay that we have another Fallout because it's not going to be like a regular Fallout game, which is a good argument. That's a good argument. I agree with that. I mean, and it's sneaky. I think like I looked at this and I was like, wow, we're already getting another Fallout game. But if you think about it, the last Fallout game was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think it would have been cooler if they didn't say anything and then had it at showing it at E3 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but the thing is, Assassin, a lot of companies are breaking away from E3.
Yeah.
Well, I understand, but like their conference, like their by E3 conference is they could have saved that and be like, whoa, have that whoa moment, like instead of oh, here comes Fallout, but
The pre-orders up, man. They want you to pre-order now.
That's right.
they'll get pre-orders in a week and a half.
Well,
too.
dude, they didn't even. I mean, the teaser didn't even say whether or not the game's coming out anytime soon.
Like now you're expecting a Fallout game. Like imagine you're in the audience, your favorite game of all time, Fallout, and then you see Fallout, and you're like, oh my god,
and they're like,
whoa.
And then they're like 2019. Like they don't even say like spring. They don't even say summer or fall, whatever. They're just like 2019 when everyone's expecting it to be 2018 now. Now that they've come out of the gate,
Yeah.
Or something Skyrim related. So he might be a little down on Fallout.
I'm actually interested on what this Fallout's going to be because I've said it a few times in the past, like because times I played ESO, like it'd be interesting to have a Fallout game like ESO.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't have, I could co-op it with clowns or see other people and just have a good old time, like because I can't get into like Fallout 3 or 4.
Yeah. Boogie's talking about, I guess there's some talk about in the chat that, these companies are looking to beat leaks to the punch. And I think that's definitely a real thing. Like, that's why they can't hold this shit now. You know what I mean?
And that's getting annoying. Like, I'm going to have to do, like, I said this earlier on Twitter, like, I'm going to do what I did last year. Just completely, like, blocking myself out for, like, Twitter and stuff. It's like, I just want that whoa moment, I like that. I don't want to have some douchebag be like, well, Fallout 5 is gonna, be this, and this. And then you see the trailer and like, that was what the person said in like one tweet.
Right.
Thanks for that.
Yep. That is annoying. I hate that now. And it's so much easier to do it now, dude, with, Twitter and Reddit and, there's so many forums and avenues of leaking shit. It's so aggravating. But
it's like, why ruin the fun? Like, I know some people will be like, oh my god, leaks. But like, I'd just rather have a company show it like at E3 or Gamescom and be like, here's our product, we're happy to show it, not some bum and be like, here's our conference.
Yep, I agree. Well, I mean, what did we learn from this trailer? Like, I know people are saying, and granted, I'm not a huge Fallout person. Like, I think the game is awesome, but I just don't want to sink that many hours into it. I'd rather play like a Borderlands game than a Fallout game. But people are saying, okay, we follow the people from Vault 76, and it's going to be the earliest Fallout game in existence, right? Because it takes place, like 20 years after. It says 20 years. Let me read this really quick because I didn't read this. 20 years after the war with 500 occupants in comparison to Fallout 4, which takes place 200 years after the in-game conflict. So I think it is like one of the earliest games in the Fallout franchise. So I don't know how people got that from that trailer because I've watched this trailer a bunch of times, but obviously, it's focusing on the people in Vault 76. That makes sense. But why are people saying that it's like going to be vastly different? Like, how do people know that? Do you guys know?
I think, I don't know if Bethesda said it, but there was, I think, some, what was it, press that said that if you're expecting another Fallout RPG, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I did see that. So I mean, man, can you imagine if this is like a battle royale?
Well, there was those, people saying that's gonna be close to like DayZ and like H1Z1 or whatever. Like, I swear those games like died off.
Yep.
Battle Royale took over. Like, if it's like that, I don't think it's gonna be that great. But if it's like an ESO or something, like I think it might be a great game. Because it sounds like it's going to be a multiplayer game. Like if it's
Right.
20 years later, most people are going to be alive.
Right.
So you have like, a bunch of different possibilities for characters and stuff, not just some person that comes out of like a room or something.
Right. No, and that's what excites me about the game. That's what kind of makes me want to check this one out, because it is multiplayer. Because it sounds like it's going to be a huge multiplayer focus. And Boogie says, yeah, she read that it is a survival game. Which, whatever. I mean, it could be done right. I mean, this is Bethesda we're talking about, right?
Yeah, but I also heard it was made by, I forget the devs. They were going to create another game back in the day, and Bethesda just canceled it. So I don't know if, they were working at, that time, right when they canceled it, or the game was totally terrible and they had to cancel it.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, for them to, the Rage 2 stuff leaked. They had to kind of, not cover their ass, but they had to kind of admit it when it did leak, that it existed. With Fallout 76, it's another game that they let the cat out of the bag a little bit early compared to E3. So I feel like those are two games that they're definitely going to focus on at E3. So obviously they're backing this one like 100% for them to, they teased us a little bit with that "please stand by" tweet or whatever, that tagline.
Yeah, that's so many people watching on Twitch.
Yep.
For that, whatever.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, arguably they got more people watching for that than they would for their presser if they stream that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's why these companies do it, and I think they're building up the hype for this. And I don't think that, being a Fallout game, I don't know if they would build up the hype for it this much, so far in advance if it wasn't going to be, like, if they didn't think it was going to be good, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think they believe in it. I'm really curious to see how it is different. Because, like I said,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. What did he say? What did he say in the chat? I missed that.
What Davidas said is kind of correct from what I heard from a lot of people that are hardcore Fallout people. He says it's going to be like a Rust game, and I've been hearing that a lot. From what I heard, you're supposed to be in charge of Vault 76, and you're supposed to be the admin building it up, trying to survive. And then when I was at GameStop today, you can take this with a grain of salt, but the manager claims that he heard from a source at GameStop who knows, Bethesda, of course. He said it's going to be like kind of like a Ark survival style game.
Interesting. That's interesting. I would have to see that in action before I put some belief into that. I mean, obviously Ark is cool. And Ark has done extremely well. But how does that translate to Fallout? I would definitely need to see that. And how are they going to portray it? Like, usually Bethesda doesn't, in their pressers, they don't like...
Boogie's right on the money.
Huh? Oh, Boogie. State of Decay Fallout style. Yeah. So, yeah. Essentially. And that would be interesting if Bethesda comes out with this game this year and it's State of Decay style and it destroys State of Decay. Like absolutely destroys it. That would be very interesting. Because, Microsoft's been pushing State of Decay like crazy. The multiplayer aspect, that fell kind of dead because of connectivity issues. Because of the tethering for some people that upset them. Because of the progression didn't carry over to everyone's game. That kind of pissed people off. I'm curious to see if Fallout does it. If Bethesda does it with this game, are they going to make those mistakes? Are they going to correct those mistakes? And if they do, like, man, it's going to be really bad for Microsoft. It's going to be really bad. I think, at least. But yeah, I mean, other than this trailer, we don't really know much. Obviously, there's been leaks, and we've talked about them here, but Boogie thinks they'll learn from everything State of Decay did wrong and make it better. Yeah, I mean, if there's a company that can probably do that, it's somebody like Bethesda. Like, obviously, State of Decay is not a full quote-unquote AAA effort, and Bethesda, pretty much everything they do, other than like Fallout Shelter on mobile, is AAA effort. So,
The only thing I hope for, because the graphics in the trailer look pretty good, I hope that the online experience looks graphically that well, and not like ESO style.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
heard it was just gonna be the Fallout 4 engine, but with better like shadows.
Yeah, I hope it looks better than Fallout 4. Even even this trailer
it's
does.
definitely gonna look better than Fallout 4, but like that's what I heard. It's just the same engine, but obviously updated.
Yeah. I feel like, obviously State of Decay is going to have a huge lead on this in terms of release, and, who knows if State of Decay will have, how many DLC or, additions they'll have to the game leading up to this. But, man, if Fallout comes out and just corrects everything State of Decay does wrong, man. Especially since Bethesda's not used to making a game like that. Bethesda's not used to putting the Fallout franchise in a different kind of like capacity. And if they do it right, like that's going to look really bad on Microsoft, I think. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like. If it's different than the original Fallout games, like I'm probably going to be a little more into it because like I said earlier, I am more into like Borderlands style and Fallout style, but Boogie has a little bit of a conspiracy theory, which I appreciate and I will mention for sure. She says, what if Undead Labs heard about this, like through the grapevine leaking, and they were like, yeah, fuck it, we got to get this game out before no matter what, and they couldn't delay State of Decay. Like, maybe they were planning on delaying State of Decay until fall, just to iron out all the nonsense and, figure out some way, somehow, to get all those issues that people have been bitching about corrected. And then they heard about this, and they had to push it.
If it came out in fall, I feel like it would just been dead.
Well, when do you think this is coming out then? When do you think Fallout 76 is coming out?
No, I meant that State of Decay 2 came out in fall. Like, it would have just been dead on the rise.
Oh, I see what you mean. If they, like, competed against each other head-to-head like that.
Well, even if Fallout 76 wasn't even coming out, like, I bet you State of Decay would just be dead compared to, like, the whole October's packed. We don't know what's coming out in, November or December. So unless they launch, like, State of Decay, if they pushed it back, they would, at the latest, August, before, everything else starts coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, fair point. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it on Fallout. But we shall see. We shall see in less than 2 weeks, and I'm sure when we do our E3 show, that's going to be a big part of it. Because that is looking like it could be, a huge hit, depending on what it is. If it's State of Decay but better, I think it's going to be huge. Because you like Assassin was kind of saying, like, Days Gone delayed, H1Z1, DayZ, those games have kind of like fallen off the earth and couldn't really get out of beta, and like DayZ, that's coming to Xbox, but I played it at PAX. I wasn't super impressed with it. It was all right. It wasn't early build, so take that for what it's worth. If Fallout can do it and do it really well and bring that kind of genre back into prominence, I think that would be huge. All right, just real quick, this Pokemon news. I know we're not. Assassin couldn't give two shits about Pokemon, but this is some pretty big news.
I like to play a Pokemon game. The question is, why would I spend hundreds of dollars on a system to play Pokemon?
Right. Well, this is why, because there's like confirmed 3 more Pokemon games coming out at minimum. So you've got this Pokemon Quest, which people are saying, oh, it's a Minecraft ripoff, right? Not exactly. It looks like Minecraft. I'm going to show the video here. Consider it. Wow, I cannot speak. Courtesy of Nintendo's YouTube channel. But it looks like Minecraft. Like it's got that that feel, that look, that art style, but at the same time, it's more like action RPG-ish. I guess the game's free. It's out now. You can check it out. But it's really Pokemon taken to or it's not out for mobile, sorry, but it's out for Switch. and you it's like actiony how you attack enemies, and you gain like experience a little bit, and you can spend the experience on upgrading your abilities and blah blah blah. But it's a totally different take. It's not like turn-based at all, or it's not traditional Pokemon at all. So way more action-based and cooperative. I'm pretty sure it's pretty cooperative. I don't know if you control all 3 of the Pokemon on your team or however many Pokemon you have, but looks kind of cool. Did you see this, Clowns?
Yeah, I've actually I'm part of a lot of different accessibility and adaptability communities, and a lot of people are complaining that there's lackluster dev roadmap for difficulties with certain types of motions and things. So there's already talk about trying to modify the game or hack it underground just to...
Interesting. I can't believe that's like the takeaway for people from this. I mean, obviously, like I can believe it, but I don't know. Like obviously, people with accessibility problems, like look at it differently. But I look at this game and I'm just like, I don't even think that far. I'm just like, what the fuck is Nintendo doing with this? Like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Like, what is this, man? Like, why do we need something like this? Fucking Pokemon Quest, dude.
If they put microtransactions in it, they can sell.
They probably will.
No.
But anyway, that's Pokemon Quest. Daz says, who cares? No one cares. All right, moving on to what most people will probably care about, which is Pokemon Let's Go. So Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, which are like...
I was talking about...
Huh?
Talking about Pokemon Let's Go.
Oh, you're talking about Pokemon Let's Go, not Pokemon Quest. Okay. Got it. Dude, Pokemon Let's Go, you can actually play with like a Pokeball. Did you see this?
I heard something about it.
Dude, first of all, it's kind of like the original Pokemon games, but not really, because you don't attack Pokemon in the wild. Like, there are some turn-based activities that you fight against, like NPCs, and you fight against like Pokemasters and stuff like that. But if you see Pokemon in plain sight, they're not like hidden. You just walk up to it and you like throw a Pokeball at it, like you're playing Pokemon Go. So it's kind of like half like Pokemon Go and half like the traditional games. And you can like ride Pokemon and shit. But they have this like Pokeball controller that you can control the whole game with. Here's a picture of it right now, actually, on the stream. You can like use that motion controlled Pokeball to like throw, well, not actually throw it, but like do the motion of throwing it at the TV to catch a Pokemon. And then you can like take that Pokemon with you. Like they showed in the trailer, you can take the Pokemon like out to lunch and you can pet it and shit. And like,
oh, that's just weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, like you can shake the Pokeball and it'll make a noise and stuff. Solopsky says we're getting the full Pokemon game next year. Yes, they did say that. So they did say that we're getting a really like traditional turn-based Pokemon game on the Switch next year, and that's not exactly what this is. It's kind of like a mix between Pokemon Go and the traditional Pokemon games. But I think it's kind of cool that you can bring in Pokemon Go catches into the game. You can, I think it's more like low key. It's more approachable for people that don't play the traditional games and don't want to do like turn-based stuff and just want to have like a fun, casual Pokemon experience. And I don't know, it's cool. I think I'm going to pre-order it. Sobsky says he was really excited for the reveal, but during watching it, it dawned on me that I'm not a kid anymore. Fuck it, dude. I'm not a kid anymore either, but I'm going to get it.
How much is it?
It's probably full 60. I don't know. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. Let me see. I don't know. I'm going to have to see. But I'm interested. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I'm going to get the Eevee one. Let's go, Eevee. Oh, maybe you can't pre-order it yet. I don't know. My brother says he pre-ordered it, so I don't know where he found that. But Sobsky says he doesn't want to take his Pokeball Tamagotchi to dinner. Nice. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. You don't have to do that, man. I mean, you don't have to buy that Pokeball. You can play it with the regular nunchucks and motion controls and stuff. But it really is like glorified, more story-based and advanced Pokemon Go. It's really like a Pokemon Go plus. But I'm kind of into it. I'm kind of interested. Like, if I don't have to like walk around the city and find Pokemon, like I'm interested in playing a Pokemon Go kind of game. If I don't have to actively like go out and seek out Pokemon in the real world and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, around here, there are people that just sit on the subway with Pokemon Go open and like just to catch Pokemon. They literally pay like $2.75 or $2.50 or whatever it is to ride the train, and they just like go around the train like around Boston over and over and over. And I swear to you, dude. I swear to you. I'll take a picture next time and send it to you. There's like, you know, no disrespect or insult to Asian people, but it's usually Asian people that sit on the train and they're all next to each other and they just have the app open. And they're just like constantly catching Pokemon as they go from like stop to stop to stop to stop, and it's just crazy.
That's actually pretty smart, though.
Yeah, it is. It's very smart.
Yeah, to walk and get Pokemon, meet other people who need Pokemon, and steal their Pokemon.
Dude, there are some really crazy dedicated people to Pokemon Go that will like literally fly to other countries in order to like catch certain Pokemon and stuff.
That's a bit much.
It's true, though. It's true. Like, I met some people in Chicago that were playing Pokemon Go, and I was like, oh, you playing Pokemon Go? They're like, yeah, we're from, like, Tennessee or something. We flew up here to, like, catch Pokemon that you can only find up here. And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you spend that kind of money. I hope you're, like, doing some other touristy things. They're only there for, like, a day.
Seems like a waste.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, that's the Pokemon thing. I know you guys don't, or Assassin, you don't have a Switch. Clowns said talked about the accessibility problems. I'd be interested to find out how they're gonna make this more accessible and what they're gonna actually like hack into the game. You know,
I'm kind of curious. I'm just gonna keep an eye on the underground scene and see what they do.
Yeah, definitely. And that sucks. Like, that sucks that there's an issue like that. And I feel like the nunchuck controllers and the motion controls and the simplicity of each, or not nunchucks, but Joy-Cons, I feel like the whole point of that is to make the gaming more accessible, and yet, you know, sometimes it doesn't. Kind of sucks. But yeah, that's Pokemon Let's Go. All right, real quick. I don't have a slide for it, but since we have a little bit of time here, let's talk about games with gold. So, now this is Assassin's favorite topic because what do you call it, Assassin, the games with gold this month?
Microtransactions with gold.
Microtransactions with gold. So, first off, okay, so on Xbox One, for the whole month of June, you're able to get Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia, which, for all intents and purposes, is trash. Like, if you want to go ahead,
it's the last one in its mini series.
What was the first one? China or something?
China. I want to say India. I could be wrong on that one. And then Russia.
My God, man. Yeah, that's like sitting at like 60%, I think, on Meta or OpenCritic or one of those. The Russia one, the China one, I think did a little bit better, but the Russia one, yuck. So you're probably gonna be playing that. I mean, you may like it, but you're probably gonna be playing that just for the gamer score if you do. And then here's what Assassin is referring to from June 16th to July 15th, and this is where we could really use Taylor on the show if she wasn't busy adulting. Smite Gold Bundle, which has a retail value, they say, is like $100. You're gonna be getting that for free. So I don't even know what comes in the gold bundle, but it's like a fuck ton of
gods, like costumes, a bunch of other things that's worth $100.
Right. It's all microtransactions though, like you said, because Smite is free to play. So they're essentially just giving away a pack of microtransactions, which kind of weak. I wonder how they negotiated that. You know, I've heard from some people that you can approach Xbox or Microsoft about doing games of gold, but usually that's not how it 100% works. And I know Hi-Rez, like, they're obviously doing very well with Smite. You know, Paladins, like Hi-Rez has done some really cool stuff lately that is making the money, that is doing very well. Like, a lot of people love Paladins. I like Paladins. Smite, obviously, championships globally, huge MOBA. And then now you've got Microsoft essentially giving away microtransactions. Like, essentially, you know, that's money that they can still make. It's not like Smite is like this older game that was only relevant then that they're kind of like bringing back to life, like we've seen with Games of Gold. This is a game that's still current, and you're essentially like bleeding the money from Hi-Rez. You know, I wonder how that went down.
Yeah, I don't know.
But obviously, you're not interested in the microtransaction package, Assassin?
No, it's called Games of Gold for a reason. Like, this isn't games with microtransactions, or games and microtransactions with gold. This is Games of Gold.
Right.
Like, unless you ran out of games to give us on the Xbox One, like, it's pointless.
I agree. David SNC says Killer Instinct kind of did the same thing. True. That's true. I will agree with that. But I think when they did it with Killer Instinct, I think the other offering as well was like something like reasonably good. I'll have to check on that, but Killer Instinct games with gold. Games of Gold begins 2017 with Killer Instinct. So they did Killer Instinct January 16th to February 15th of 2017. And for 360 games that month, they gave away Rayman Origins and they gave away The Cave. Now, The Cave, Rayman Origins is excellent, though. They also gave away, Van Helsing, World of Van Helsing Death Trap, which, all right, fair enough. That game wasn't fantastic. But and that was Killer Instinct Season 2, by the way, not even Season 1. Sobsky says, so wait, if you only get games of gold, a month of gold just for the Smite bundle, what happens if you leave gold? No, to my understanding, I think you still own it. I mean, how are they gonna take back microtransactions?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one.
Right. I wonder how it worked with Killer Instinct. I think Killer Instinct, it's a little easier to kind of like relinquish your ownership of that, but I could be wrong. Maybe they don't do it with that either. But I like Games of Gold, they don't even do that anymore, period.
The 360 ones, even if you lose gold, you can keep. The Xbox One and PS4 games, you lose gold. Or PS Plus, you lose the game.
Got it. Okay. I knew it was a little bit weird. But yeah. Clowns, what do you think? Are you as upset as Assassin is about getting a microtransaction package as a game with gold?
The only game I like out of all of this, or will attempt to try, because I think I'll like it, is the Sonic racing game.
Dude, yeah, look at those 360 games. Dude, the 360 games actually are way better than the Xbox One games, I think. Sonic and All-Stars Racing. Dude, you didn't like Lego Indiana Jones?
The first one was good. I haven't played the second one, but I mean,
Assassin's just being a negative Nancy here. He's not looking at the glasses half full side.
Okay, you want me to look at the glasses half full? Well, $100 worth of microtransactions.
There you go, $100 value.
Deal.
Yep. There you go.
Ooh,
good for you, Assassin.
Free play game. I'm so excited.
There you go. Flip that switch, bro. You flip that switch.
Are you saying that you're not a Lego fan anymore? Are you denouncing the fact that you like Lego games?
I'm glad we're getting another Lego game, but I don't know. I have a bunch I still haven't played. I don't know.
Dude, I'm interested in the Lego Indiana Jones. I think that game did all right on Metacritic, or I think that game was out before OpenCritic, so this probably doesn't have a score. But if I remember correctly, that was like in the 70s. I know the first game did better. But Lego games, you know, what are you going to say? I mean, are there any that are like really, really bad? I mean, the mechanics are so similar. It's like if you just don't like the story, then. But Sonic, that Sonic racing game, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform, that game on Meta was actually like in the mid-80s, I think. So that game actually did really well.
I actually heard that game's pretty good. I heard there's actually a cult following just for that game and like Mario Kart and stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely downloading. I'm downloading both the 360 games for the first time in months. I'm not like one of those people that just adds it to the library. Like, if I know I'm not going to play it, I don't even waste my time. But, no, I mean, that sounds like, you know, spoiled of me, I guess. But if I just know that there's just no chance, I don't even bother because, you know, I'm not like one of those people that just play it for the gamer score. I have to be like moderately interested. And I think I'll grab both of these. Oh, 360 for sure.
The Lego Indiana Jones 2 got a 70 on Meta.
70, okay. So low 70s. Well, whatever. I would be willing to guess that was the worst Lego game on any Lego game on Metacritic then, as a 70.
The Game Boy Advance like Lego games were pretty bad. I remember Lego Star Wars for the Game Boy. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that was awful. I remember that too.
Yeah, and then going to like the GameCube version.
Oh my god, it was like
that was
night
and day difference.
Dude, even the DS versions of those games are trash. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, even like the Lego Batman, I had it on the Nintendo DS. Like that one and then the 360 version. It's like two completely different games.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. It's not like mobile games these days. It's like Vita and 3DS games are like just toned down versions. They're not like so fundamentally different these days like they were back then. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the games of gold. I haven't seen anything about the PS Plus games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
it was XCOM, whatever, and Trials Fusion.
Oh, okay. Not bad. Sobsky, let me get to the YouTube chat really quick. Sobsky says, for an E3 month, he was quite disappointed. He was expecting Halo MCC to go free. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I definitely agree with that. I think for a month where it's E3, like you celebrate that with a really good offering. And, you know, some people will see that Smite thing, dude, and will totally disagree with us because they'll be like, listen, I play Smite. I want all the gods. I want all these customizations. This is a huge value. I mean, definitely a win. But, you know, I'm totally with you, Assassin, on that. With that, you know, it's games with gold, and that's not a game. So... but yeah, I expected more in E3 month as well. Boogie says 10 more days, E3 baby. Yeah, next week we'll get into next week on the podcast we'll definitely get into some like pre-E3 chatter, what we are looking to see, what we're really hoping to see, how we think people will do. And after that, we will you know, obviously talk about how people did and hopefully all three companies do well. Obviously, Microsoft, I think, has the most to lose. We'll get more into this next week, but I think Microsoft has the most to lose, and Nintendo probably will do well, whether they, you know, shit on stage or metaphorically, I should say, because they never go on stage anymore. It's just a video. But even if they, like, just shat on an amiibo, I think they do well. But, oh, man. Anyway, yeah, so... I think that's it for this week. We're going to go back to playing games. But thank you for coming by, checking out the podcast. Had some awesome comments in the chat. Really appreciate that this week. Big shout out to you guys for coming and checking it out. If you're if you're so kind to give us a like for this video, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you didn't like it, definitely hit the dislike button and let us know. Let us know how we can improve, because we're definitely willing to do that. And if you want to find us online, just search 4GwQPodcast. You'll find us pretty much everywhere. Once I get moved, I want to get back into streaming a little bit. I know my brother's gonna buy me a green screen, so that should be cool. Clowns, where is your fucked up green screen that you made, bro? Where is that thing?
Yeah. Well, it would actually work now because I have it set for, my camera angle.
Oh, okay.
But I did put it in the garage only because it made the room look cluttered, and I couldn't put it by the window because my mother-in-law has a chair over there. So, yeah, it's in the garage. I'm probably going to have to go with one of those pull up, pull down, put on your couch ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what my brother's buying. He's buying it. I think he's buying it for me to test out for him, and then he's just going to take it away, which is a tease, but whatever. If it's that good, I'll definitely just buy one for myself. But we're looking to stream a little bit more, so we'll definitely be on Mixer, maybe a little bit on Twitch. So definitely hit, search 4GwQPodcast, follow us. Hopefully one day soon we can get Assassin back on his bed playing Fantasia.
I need a Connect.
But maybe I'll send him my Connect. We'll see. But on Twitter, we are 4GwQPodcast. Follow us on there to get, all of our tweets and information about the podcast and stuff like that. And definitely hit us up individually, especially if you're a Dark Souls 3 player and looking to carry me. Definitely add me on Xbox. And if you're looking to play Sea of Thieves as well, I mean, these guys play Sea of Thieves extremely often and are very good to play with on that. Me, I've been a little lackluster lately, but after I move, hopefully that'll change. So, just hit us up. We'll definitely add you and play some games. And all three of us have PlayStation now, so hit us up on PSN as well. But other than that, we'll see you guys later. Peace.